Okay, so my computer's been sitting in a cupboard for a long time after sitting on a windowsill for about 6 months, falling off multiple times and battering the shit out of it. I don't mean my current rig, I mean my old rig that I used to use before I built my current PC. Now, I've wondered whether this PC still works after falling off a windowsill multiple times and sitting in a cupboard for about 6 months, not being used for over a year now. I doubt it will actually work, but I'd like to give it a shot. Here's the computer for reference. It looks pretty beaten up, doesn't it? We've got the front panel, looks beaten up as anything. We've got no side panels, and as you can see, we're missing a power supply and most of the RAM sticks, and we don't have a GPU in there anymore, and we've got no GPU covers. What we're going to try and do in this video is see if this actually works by putting a power supply in it, wiring it up, using the integrated graphics in the i5-4430 to see if this still works. Now, I would be surprised if it does still work. However, if it does still work, we're going to turn this into a nice rig, upgrading these 4GB of RAM to a usable, but not spectacular, but usable 8GB of RAM, leaving this CPU as it might not be the best CPU, but it's a 4-core i5 3GHz i5-4430. It'll do the trick. And possibly putting in a cheap graphics card in here, so this computer can play titles like Minecraft, CSGO, Roblox at full 60 FPS with no issues, high settings, whatever. Basically an esports machine. No gaming rig or top tier rig by any means, but a usable machine that someone could use and not get frustrated with or feel the need to buy a new system. So we're going to see if we can get this working, and then we'll see what we can do with it further down the line. But for now, let's see if this thing actually works. So I actually don't have a spare power supply or anything like that sitting around, but I do have an old computer as well here. Now, it's very heavy. These old computers were heavy. But somewhere in here should be a power supply. It won't be a power supply capable of delivering power to an external graphics card. Oh, that was a loud bang, lovely. How much wattage is this? 288 watts, that's not bad actually, but it won't suffice. But this will go into that to test it. This power supply works. It's a horrible looking thing. So is the rest of this PC, really. It's disgusting, and it's broken. But that's not. Now, it will probably blow up if you use it for more than a year. Fair enough, we're going to use it for testing. Or maybe we'll use it as a bomb. I have no idea. That should definitely not go on YouTube. But yeah, let's give it a test. Okay, so we're going to want to find some sort of Phillips head screwdriver. That's not a Phillips head. That is a Phillips head. I'll take that, but it might be a bit big for some of the bigger, some of the smaller Phillips heads things. That'll probably do the trick nicely. So now we've got ourselves a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's go back upstairs and start working. Okay, so we've basically taken this disgusting power supply out of that computer, and I'm going to give it a bit of a wipe down because it's disgusting, and then we're going to put it in the other computer and try and power it on. So yeah, let's give this a wipe. Holy shit, it's actually posting. Let's press F1. Reboot or select proper media device. Fuck. Okay, so we've got it running Linux right now, off of a USB disk. So we know the computer itself is functional. It's running it fine, obviously, it's fucking Linux. So now that we know that this computer is going to run fine, I think we should begin making some plans for our little friend here. Okay, so I just bought a new case for it, and obviously I'm going to have to give it a bit of a wipe down as well, but it's a pretty nice case as well. It's got a plasticky glass. I think that's glass side panel or acrylic. I've got no idea. It looks quite cool. So yeah, it's got RGB at the front. Well, LED, not really RGB, but it might be RGB. I've got no idea. But I just bought it off my sister, and I quite like it. It's got aero cool fans in it. I believe it's an aero cool case. Yeah, it's not exactly a premium case, but it's a hell of a lot better than a beaten up piece of shit. So very nice. Let's remove this first, and then we'll take everything out and just dump it straight in there. Let's fucking go. We got a slight problem. Good news is we've got the motherboard in. Bad news is the 24-pin cable will not reach the 24-pin connector. So we're going to have to figure out a way to fix this. So that pretty much wraps this all up. We're stuck with all of this mess all in my room for now. But hopefully by next week the room should be nice and clean, and we won't have issues anymore with these connections. So hopefully I can get it all wired up, working nicely, looking good. Put a nice SSD or something in there at some point, possibly a GT 1030, or if we're lucky a 1050. Nothing too miraculous in here, just something a bit better than integrated graphics, as integrated graphics aren't exactly the best. If I can find another power efficient solution that draws less than 80 watts, then that will go in. But I'm going to weigh up all my options and see what we can do to make this computer good for under £100. So I'll see you guys in the next video.